Management hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And there we go. Got to hit the right button. If you want to talk, you got to hit the button to let you talk. We're all for running another brand new live edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Welcome in for your Thursday edition show. Safe travels into work, into school, wherever you may be headed. 36 degrees as you go into work today or into school or wherever. If you're on your way to get us some breakfast, that's fine. We can take that as well. French toast, pancakes, eggs, bacon. We don't care. Omelets. We're fine with whatever. Cinnamon rolls, Chick-fil-A biscuits. We don't care. Just be safe in bringing it to us wherever you may be headed. All right. We've got a lot of good stuff to get through today on the show. 256-576-4977. That is how you can reach out to us over the next 2 hours. And a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff to get through today. Signing day wrapping up yesterday. College basketball going on last night as well. Auburn in action, Tennessee in action. That's where we'll start real fast. Get you caught up on everything that happened on the hardwood last night, at least when it comes to conference play in the SEC. Jonai Broome had a big night for the Auburn Tigers last night. A double-double in a nearly flawless first half for 25th-ranked Auburn as they even that season series with Georgia last night. They get a win 94-73. Broome had 19 points, equaled his career high with 18 rebounds. Alan Flanagan had 22 to lead Auburn. He made 8 of 10 shots. Wendell Green Jr. added 18 points, 6 assists. And how about this? K.D. Johnson, as good as he was for Auburn last year, he has struggled offensively for Auburn this year when we've gotten into SEC play. He reached double digits for the first time in SEC play last night with 13 points. The Tigers did commit a season-low 5 turnovers while distributing 22 assists. So we've talked about Auburn a lot this year. Auburn's defense when it comes to guarding guards has been a little off. That has been a kryptonite, and turning the ball over has been a problem for Auburn. Last night, they don't turn the ball over, and good things happen. Auburn head coach Bruce Pearl after the win last night.
I thought it was a really good team effort tonight. A lot of guys contributed. We played them in really early January, and that night they were better than us. We played them about a month or so later, and tonight we were better than them. So that's a good sign that I think it says our team's improving. Great balance tonight. Only 5 turnovers. We talked about not letting them beat us on the boards and not beating us in transition with turnovers, and we did a great job with that. Stephen Pearl did a phenomenal job with the scout tonight. He recommended some adjustments defensively. They were the right recommendations. And our guys did a little bit better job recognizing on the break when we had advantage, when we had numbers, and then when we didn't. And I thought as a result, we ran better offense, and the 22 assists and the 5 turnovers are a good indication of that.
That was Auburn head coach Bruce Pearl after his team's win last night inside Neville Arena. So with the win, that is the 6th straight game. See, with the win, Auburn splits the regular season with Georgia. It was the Tigers' 100th all-time victory over the Bulldogs in program history. And Alan Flanagan came out shooting 6 of 10 from the field, 6 of 9 from the free throw line, registering 19 points in the first half versus West Virginia and Georgia. It's back-to-back games for him. He reached double digits for the 9th time this season. Tigers scored a season-high 94 points against the Bulldogs. It was their second game of the season with a 90-plus point scoring output, next to 93 against Colgate on December 2nd. So Auburn gets the win, and if you're looking at it, the Tigers now 7-2 in SEC play. The other team that is sitting 7-2 in SEC play, thanks to a tough road trip last night, that'd be the Tennessee Vols. Florida outscored Tennessee 27-21 in the first half, and then equaled that mark with a 40-33 performance in the second half, as second-ranked Tennessee falls 67-54. And let's just say in college basketball this year, we always talk about in college football being that number one ranked team or something when it comes to the playoffs, on how you just have some bad mojo or bad karma around you. Being the second-ranked team in college basketball has been awful.
It's like
right
an albatross.
Now. I want to say it's up to 9 times this year or something like that, or that the second-ranked team in the country has lost. It's like being number one is okay, but being number 2 this year in college basketball has just been awful, and Tennessee last night feels it as they lose by 13 on the road to Florida, who, by the way, is not bad. They're 6-3 now in SEC play.
Yeah, they're kind of sneaking around under Todd Golden. I had a chance on the bus to watch most of that second half on DirecTV, and it was interesting. Colin Castleton was basically a tough cover for them. He had 20-9. And really hurt them inside. But the interesting part is, Scott, you mentioned that they outscored them 40-33 in the second half, but they only had 2 guys in double figures, Lofton and Castleton. So it's not like they were a hot shooting team and had you talked about Auburn scoring 94 points and whatnot. And and Auburn didn't turn the ball over, had a hot shooting game. Alan Flanagan continues his renaissance this year. He has 22. I think it was 19 and 18 for Jonai Broom. So they had a really good team performance offensively. It really wasn't that for Florida, but Florida clamped up on Tennessee. And Tennessee's a really good defensive team, but they're not a great offensive team. And Vescovy struggled, and they just really couldn't get anything going offensively in the second half. And they had one little spurt where they took a 6-point lead for a short period of time, but Florida answered and got the lead back and really just held Tennessee at arm's length the rest of the game. And now the Vols have 2 losses. Auburn and now they're playing each other. So this is going to be a battle of 7-2s in Thompson Bowling Arena in the Bruce Pearl Bowl, as he'll be back in his old stomping grounds on Saturday. The winner is going to be solidly in second place, but right now Alabama's got a 2-game lead in the SEC. I know it was proclaimed last weekend that Tennessee was the best team in the SEC, even though record-wise it didn't show it. And now, like you said, it's kind of that curse of being number 2.
Yeah, you don't want to be number 2.
And then here's the interesting part. Alabama has Florida in less than a week now. That their next home game is Florida at home on Wednesday. And the Gators, you just talked about them being 6-3. They're inching up the standings. I honestly hadn't given them much thought as being an NCAA tournament team, but they're kind of
13-9,
they're not right now. But if they keep stacking wins,
you'll be there.
Say they upset Alabama in Tuscaloosa, that would be huge. And if they can win Saturday, but I think they have Kentucky on Saturday.
Well, so going into the game, we talked about how good the Tennessee defense was. They had been allowing opponents to shoot just 34% from the floor.
Right.
Tennessee. Florida shot 43% last night from the floor. Tennessee coming in had been allowing opponents to shoot just 22% from behind the arc.
Yep.
Last night, Florida shot 35% from behind the arc. 18 of 24 from three-point range. So... Or 35%. They were 7 of 20 from behind the arc.
Florida
did everything.
Enough.
Yeah, they didn't tear it up. I mean, you would think, okay, shooting 35% and 43%, but from what the Vols had been giving up this season, that was a lot better. I mean, something is going to give. And like I said yesterday against Alabama and Tennessee, something is going to give. Either Alabama is going to find a way to solve Tennessee's defense, and if you do, you can beat Tennessee because Tennessee can't score.
Yeah, think about this. I mean, Florida held them to 28% shooting. Vescovy, as I said, 2 for 12. And he played a game-high 37 minutes for the Vols. And then the Vols 5 of 25 from the three-point line.
20%.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean
you can't win.
I mean, Tennessee out-rebounded them 43-36, but when you're shooting 28%,
you can't put the ball.
Yeah.
John Schulman has told us so many times, if you can't put the ball in the basket,
if the ball doesn't go in,
you're not going to
things
win.
don't go well.
No,
I
and
mean,
you don't. You can't shoot that well. You can't, especially on the road. You got to shoot better.
Well, that's why it's tough to win on the road. And,
it is.
And then if you look at it, last year they made a point of this. Auburn, as you remember, won the SEC regular season and had a really strong run in the SEC. But one of their losses was at Florida.
Yep.
Because Florida reached up and stung them. So
look where Auburn got wins last year. A lot of them were at home. Kentucky was, I believe, inside Neville Arena. I think Tennessee was inside.
Well, and we'll decide if Florida's a real deal Saturday because they're going to Rupp. And, that's going to be a night game. We'll see if they can beat if they beat the Kentucky Wildcats, then Alabama better brace themselves because
Kentucky's been beatable inside Rupp.
That for one disastrously bad. I mean, I'm not going to say anything about Kansas. Kansas is really good.
Right.
I mean,
referring
South Kakalaki
to the mystery of the greatest mystery.
We had a good reaction on the bus yesterday. We were talking about that basketball because Alabama had won impressively last night, and people were talking about it on the way down. And then we all started talking about recruiting because that was the gist of what we were doing. We were going down for a signing day situation. And then we talked about it on the show yesterday. It was signing day, and so there was only a couple of storylines to follow. And Nicholas Harbor, that's going to be a topic on the show today, one of the last remaining 5 stars, goes to South Kakalaki. And the nice lady next to me was like, I've never heard it referred to Kakalaki before. And I was
Where
like,
did that one come from?
I guess Peter Burns. I don't know. I think I stole it from somebody on SEC Network. But yeah, I mean, South Kakalaki got Nicholas Harbor, and then we were talking about anything can happen in basketball because South Kakalaki beat Kentucky at Rupp. I mean, how does that happen?
Missouri gets a win last night as well.
Man, Kobe Brown was on fire last
26 points, 8 rebounds for the former General, 87-77 winners over LSU. 17-5, 5-4 in SEC play is Missouri.
Yep. They are on fire. They look like a definite NCAA tournament team, though I will say they've got a very interesting road trip coming up, Scott, on Saturday, and that's to the Hump. They're going to Mississippi State. And Mississippi State's been hot now. They upset TCU, and then they won at South Kakalaki, who we were talking about. They won by 15. So
but they are just 2-7 in SEC play as Mississippi State.
It could be because people forget the TCU win was out of conference.
Yeah.
So, but you're right, they're only 2-7, but they looked good at Alabama, nearly won that game, and then they've won their last 2. So Missouri has not been great on the road. So we'll have to see what happens there. Let's
get our first break in. We'll talk more basketball and recap signing day when we return after these messages. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Just got a wreck coming out of Marshall County, Union Grove Road and King Drive. 4 vehicles involved. That one does have injuries. Sounds like they're about to wrap up on that structure fire in Decatur. That one was in the 600 block of 11th Avenue Northwest. You can pay by the day at the Y. Through the end of February, what you choose to pay depends on the day. The earlier in the month you join, the less you pay. The YMCA, Madison and Huntsville. Special military rates, free child care, and never a contract. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane, Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Suffering from emotional pain and mental health conditions? Intensive Outpatient Programs, or IOP, is a rich addition to your continued individual therapy. Group members realize they're not alone and that others have similar difficulties. Hearing and sharing different ways to think and cope can be encouraging, empowering, and promote healing. In most cases, treatment is covered by insurance and no doctor referral is needed. Virtual IOP sessions available. Take your first step to wellness by calling 205-999-5247 or log on IOPServicesLLC.com.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
The Stretch Zone, with 2 locations in the Tennessee Valley, will get you ready for whatever spring activities you have planned, from golf to tennis or just to increase your general activity. The Stretch Zone can get you limbered up to feel your best. Plus, you'll be taught the best stretches that you can do on your own in between visits to one of our 2 locations in Hampton Cove in Huntsville or on Balch Road in Madison. Visit StretchZone.com for more information. That's StretchZone.com and be the best of you. Learn more at StretchZone.com.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN. The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, and recapped Auburn's win over Georgia last night. Ran down the SEC scores for you in college basketball. How about there were a few top 25 scores on the hardwood last night. Top-ranked Purdue, no problems with Penn State, 80-60. 14th-ranked Marquette over Villanova, 73-64. And 16th-ranked Xavier over 17th-ranked Providence, 85-83 in overtime.
A pretty good matchup there.
Yeah, so those were your college basketball scores from last night. Yesterday, as we mentioned, did put a cap on National Signing Day, and Jaden Rashada has a home. In case you are intrigued, he's signed with Arizona State to play football, and it came out from the Rashada, I guess you could say, camp.
Yeah.
That NIL played no part.
Oh, give me a break with this crap.
Him going to Arizona State.
Well, it may not this time, but I guess he had to give up that he never got any of his $13 million he was going to take from Florida or Miami. So shut up and quit acting like everybody's a mutton head. And good grief. Everybody knows what's going on.
So Alabama yesterday caps off the number 1 class in the 24/7 composite.
Quietly.
It's the 10th time in the past 13 years that they have done so. Signed a record 9 5-star prospects, topping the previous high of 8 in a class set by Texas A&M in last year's cycle. Georgia ranked number 2. marked the 7th consecutive top 5 finish for Kirby Smart.
And they may not be done.
The Bulldogs finished first in 2018 and 2020. Texas, Oklahoma, Ohio State round out the top 5. So if you look at Alabama, Drew, 10% of the cycle's top 100 players signed with Alabama. Most impressive of that group.
Well, I mean, certainly Keon Keeley is probably the highest-rated player from Berkeley Prep in Tampa. He's an edge rusher. He's going to take Will Anderson's place. I'm not saying as a starter. I'm just saying theoretically, with Will moving on to the NFL, they certainly think he can contribute as a freshman. Justice Haynes, the running back from Buford, was very impressive during bowl workouts. Heard good things about junior college wide receiver Malik Benson as well. Is 10 of those guys, Scott, of the 30, because I'm saying 30 because they've also had 2 portal transfers that have already enrolled. C.J. Dupree from Maryland, and also Tresman Marshall from Georgia, the inside linebacker. They're both on campus. The coolest part, or the crazy, and it just shows you how things have changed so much, and that's why yesterday was so anticlimactic. We did talk recruiting, but it wasn't a wall-to-wall type situation where we've in the past spent the entire first Wednesday, in February talking recruiting all day. Is because Alabama didn't sign anybody. Auburn didn't either. Auburn had all their hay in the barn. We only had a couple of storylines to follow yesterday. One of them happened, the Deuce Robinson situation from the tight end from Arizona. He has not signed yet and probably will in the coming days, potentially with Georgia. That's why I said they're not done. It wouldn't jump them over Alabama, but he could be a huge addition to their class. He hasn't signed. But again, 26, Scott, of those 30 guys for Alabama are already on campus. I mean, that's pretty crazy. They're all going to go through spring practice. 10 of them, as I just said, went through the bowl practices. Now that new rule that's been changed, you can travel with the team to go be on the sideline and be at the bowl spot.
That's what makes it a little bit more anticlimactic, is that these guys have all signed. They've actually gone through practice already.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So good luck to the Under Armour game and the All-American game going forward, because there may be a few dudes that participate in bowl practice and still play in these games, but a lot of them are just going to start school and they're not going to play in an all-star. And I'll just be honest, these all-star games are about as worthless as the Pro Bowl. Okay,
we don't have the Pro Bowl anymore.
I know, thank the Lord. Now it's we got
Pro Bowl games. We got Pro Bowl games,
and then like contests and stuff. That's basically what you're going to have to do. Okay, and even then with these all-star games, with all these guys enrolling early, you can't even really do that stuff. So you might as well just name somebody a Under Armour All-American or a Army All-American or whatever the heck you want to have, and then or Adidas All-American, whatever they call it now, and you might as well just have maybe a ceremony or something, some kind of dinner in late November, then do that, because I'm just telling you, it's not going to be working out in the future.
Well, you bring up the Pro Bowl. Those Pro Bowl games start today.
Now, and Eli Manning and Eli Manning and Peyton are the two coaches of the flag football game, right?
The AFC team will be led by Peyton.
Yeah.
He's the head coach.
NFC is Eli, right?
Ray Lewis is your AFC defensive coordinator.
Oh, this ought to be great.
And Diana Flores is your AFC offensive coordinator.
What?
Yeah. Okay, so the NFC team is being led by Eli Manning. He's your head coach.
Right.
DeMarcus Ware is your NFC defensive coordinator. And Vanita Crouch is your NFC offensive coordinator.
Who is Vanita Crouch?
I don't know. That's the flag football game. That's going to be on Sunday. Wow. Today, you ready for today?
Let's not have a Robert Edwards incident. Never forget that. He was playing flag football on the beach, and he tore his knee up and was never the same. But I will say, finally, to get away from a half-speed football game is at least good, even if it's flag.
So today it all starts.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for what's going on today?
Yeah, they got some kind of skills competitions or something.
Today you get the epic Pro Bowl dodgeball. A multi-round tournament of classic dodgeball.
Is Johnny Manziel playing in this?
He's in the NFL.
Whatever.
4 teams, 5 players. From both squads, with the offense and defense from both conferences squaring off. It culminates in the AFC-NFC showdown. Then you get the lightning round. Each conference will select 16 players to compete in a 3-part elimination challenge. That'll leave one player left at the end to earn 3 points for the conference.
What if somebody gets their jaw broken by a dodgeball hit or something? Man?
You get in the first event, lightning round, splash catch. Teammate pairings from each conference will toss water balloons back and forth from increasing distances. Each tandem that completes all of their tosses advances to the second phase. In part 2, the lightning round, high stakes. Advancing players will attempt to catch punts from a jugs machine to earn a place representing their conference. And then the third one is thrill of the spill.
What is this?
We'll aim at targets attached to a bucket hanging above the head of an opposing conference's coach. The first team to
bucket above the head of a coach. This sounds like some of that stupid, what is that, American Ninja Warrior where they
Double
run through
Dare. Sounds like Double Dare.
Well, that too.
The first team to dump the bucket.
Was that Double Dare?
Yeah, the first team to dump the bucket on the opposing coach will earn 3 points. Then you get the longest drive.
Oh, Lord.
You get precision passing and best catch presented by Uber Eats. There's your Pro Bowl game skills.
Okay. Czar will probably record this, but I'm not watching any of it. He loves anything football related. I'm not messing with this. Good grief. I mean, I actually kind of forgot.
I don't even think someone as football savvy as Bizarre and as big into football as he is going to be watching this.
Unless the XFL, if they have some sort of dispersal player draft or something going on, I don't know.
I got a new league for you, though, to watch in the spring in 2024.
What is that?
The AFL is back.
What do you mean? Huh?
The Arena Football League is back. With 16 new teams.
16 new teams.
They haven't announced where the teams are going to be yet, though, but they're back.
Are we coming back?
No, we're not. I don't know. No, Huntsville can't bring one back.
I mean, we're a growing city, so we're not going to be big enough to do AF1.
I doubt it. AF1 the last time did not go so well.
No, it was a disaster.
AF2 was good. AF2 was out of the park.
Well, see, that's what I wondered. Like
AF1 was not good.
I wondered if AF1, if they were going to
financially, it took too much to run.
It did. But I was just wondering if the latest reincarnation, if they were going to go for medium-sized markets and maybe not the New Yorks of the world. I don't know. I don't know what they're. Well, I haven't heard any buzz, so I don't know. We've heard some buzz about football somewhere else. In college, though, we can't really talk about it. But, it'll be very interesting.
I tell you what, let's take a break so we can bring in UAH coach Sean Shulman, shall we?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. UAH in football. That's a novel idea. Yeah. If only someone could make it happen. Let's take a break. When we return, John Shulman joins us next.
What is...
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It'll be a wet afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. We're talking about rain all the way through the afternoon, into the evening, and even through the earliest part of the overnight. Temperatures only going to climb into the low and mid 40s this afternoon. Rain finally comes to an end through the early hours of Friday morning. We're actually going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine on Friday afternoon, though temperatures still going to be on the cooler end of the spectrum. Highs only climbing into the mid 40s, dropping into the upper 20s, lower 30s as we head into the overnight, early into your Saturday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a wreck working in Marshall County. This one's Union Grove Road and King Drive. 4 vehicles involved. That one does have some injury. And we had a structure fire in Decatur, 600 block of 11th Avenue Northwest. They may still be working on cleanup there. You can fly Breeze from Huntsville and pay $39 to Tampa, $79 to Las Vegas, non-stop. The sale ends February the 6th. Flybreeze.com for info. Captain Eck in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
In the Army National Guard, soldiers serve part-time and close to home.
My community means everything to me. It helped shape me into who I am today, and is where I choose to raise my own family. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The education benefits I got from serving helped me get my degree and jumpstart my career. The training and leadership skills I've gained from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people, help my neighbors, and look out for my community. I know that when my neighbors need us the most, my fellow soldiers and I will be ready. My family loves it here, and my part-time service means we get to stay here.
Serve part-time in the community you live in as a proud member of the Army National Guard. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Alabama knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll get you out of the house for a couple of hours. But it needs to be affordable. It needs to be family-friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for your buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
From the Alabama Crimson Tide to the Atlanta Braves, we are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond with you. And as we talked about on Monday, we kind of recapped the weekend. The UAH Chargers went on the road Saturday, and they faced many obstacles to get a win over Lee.
Yes.
I mean, to say that they battled through, grit,
toughness,
determination, toughness, any word there that you want to put is a fair word to put, because I tell you what, John Schulman, Coach Schulman, has probably been a part of something like that before, because I guess as a coach, you've probably have been through everything, but I've never seen something like that. And amazing. But the thing of it is as amazing and as great as it was, you got to move on because you got another one today.
Well, you do. They've got a home swing coming up, a couple of games against Delta State and Mississippi College over at the stable at Spraggins Hall. But what a great week for UAH last week. What an epitome and just a great, just a picture of this team, of the experience, of the culture, and of overcoming adversity for this squad with one of their best players, on a 2-week break in C.J. Williamson, and then to have their team affected by sickness but then fight through it. That's what's great about team sports and great about the sport of basketball. Guys stepping up, and they certainly did last week. And we always enjoy our weekly visits with our next guest on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and that is Coach John Schulman. Coach, congratulations on the toughness showed by your squad last week. 2 really good road wins for you.
Well, I appreciate it. We spoke last week, and we were coming off it's not a bad L, but anytime you lose at home, it's a tough L. But coming off a loss to West Alabama, how are we going to react? And because we played great against Montevallo at home, and then took the L against West out and played great. And what are we going to do? And CJ is out for about 2 weeks, and now we got to regroup, and now we got to go to Shorter, and that's not a fun trip. And I got people showing me pictures of Drew before the game and during the game, and that's kind of scary. And,
Promise I didn't ask him to do that, Coach.
But thank God you were in the stands and not on the sideline, Drew.
Yeah.
I like you better as a photograph instead in person.
I was going to say, I think I reversed the mojo with a picture there.
It's a pretty old photo, too.
Yeah, it was old. I weighed a little more then. I will say.
We came
Heavy
out
D and the boys.
Played really good offensively at Shorter and kind of found ourselves there. And that's a tough place to play. And won by, 88-54 at Shorter. And we had a short celebration because, our bitter rival was coming up on Saturday. So we didn't have a whole lot of time to get ready for Lee on Saturday, but that was going to be a big one. And Lee lost on Thursday night to West Al at home, so we knew they would be ready to roll. And so we head up on that Saturday. I got a phone call early from Jack Costal, who's been fantastic for us, saying, "Coach, I got food poisoning. I'm sick." Well, that's a problem, Jack. And we tried to fix Jack, and we realized I got up to Lee, and I looked at Morgan, our trainer. I said, "How's Jack?" And she was like, "That's the least of your concerns."
Oh.
Well, that's a problem. What's the deal? And Cheney's sick, Radiker's sick, Tanner's sick. Everybody's getting sick. Okay, all right. Let's figure this thing out. And we figured it out, and we talked about it before the game. And you're right, Scott. I have been involved in a kind of a flu gate before.
Yeah.
And went up to Western Carolina day of the game at Chattanooga and played with 6 players and had guys doing IVs on the bus on the way up. And you just have to have a next man up mentality. So we're ready to roll. We got next man up mentality. We run out with about 3 minutes before the game, and Dylan Harding comes back to me and says, "Coach, we got more problems." What's the problem? Dane didn't go out for starting lineups. He went the other way, and he's outside in the back throwing up. Dane was more worried about he had throw up on his shoes than what we were going to run the first play. Okay, well, let's figure this thing out. Who can play and who can't play? We stretched in quarantine groups, okay?
Wow.
The sick guys over there stretching, the healthy guys over here stretching. Can you play? Can you not play? And we figured it out. We started out, we were down 12, and that's a bitter rival. But we also talked about, listen, at the end of the day, there's not going to be an asterisk beside this game and say, hey, we lost by 4, but everybody was sick, and CJ was hurt. That's not how it goes. You either win or you lose, and you either step up or you don't step up. And there's no asterisk beside any game. And we found a way, and we battled through it. And I'm just going to tell you, Daniel Saylor was a flipping man, and Hunter Vick bailed us out, and Max played great, and Cheney played fantastic. And what a memorable Saturday afternoon. We had an amazing crowd from UAH come up, and they had an amazing crowd. I think everybody from Cleveland, Tennessee was in there. And it was a high-level basketball game in a high-level atmosphere with an amazing story behind it, and I couldn't be more proud of our guys.
Yeah. Coach, last year this team took on the mantra of win for CJ because of being left out of the conference voting and all that other stuff, and it kind of fueled a run. Is that the type of win? Is that the type of situation that could really galvanize this team going forward and being like, look, they threw everything at us. Lee did, just life threw everything at us as well, and we were able to persevere. There's nothing that can stop us. I mean, now we're feeling pretty good. Is that the type of win that can do that?
Well, I think, but you just never know. I mean, we did that with CJ last year, but we still didn't know. You don't know till the story's over. The book is still out, and there's a lot of pages to be written. And the neat thing is we write the book. Every team has a book. Every team has a chapter in a book, and I don't know the end of the chapter, but it does feel like that. And I think we kind of surprised ourselves. We haven't had great success at Lee. They've got a really good basketball program. They've got a really good team. And, to go up there and do what we did, I think I'm just going to tell you this. We hadn't had a whole lot of celebrations like that in the locker room this year. We've been happy, and probably LMU down in Florida, and then Lee here. Lee on Saturday were pretty good celebrations. That means the guys put everything out there that they had, and we did. We put everything out there. I put everything out there. We all put everything out there, and those are risky times. And I'm telling you, I've talked to y'all about this before. When you risk everything you got in your body and your heart and your soul and everything, there's a chance you're going to be devastated. But you have to do that, because if you don't risk it all, you can't receive the good stuff. And that's what athletics is supposed to teach us. You got to risk it all. So if you win like we did on Saturday, we'll be ecstatic. If we don't win on Saturday, we'll be devastated, and that's going to hurt. And it's supposed to hurt, and it's supposed to be unbelievable when you win games like that, and it was. And so hopefully we can grow from it. It's been a crazy week. Instead of getting back on the horse and getting going, we had to take Sunday off. That's normal for us, but we took Monday off to try to get healthy. By that time, some of the other guys had kind of come down with the stomach virus, and so we missed some guys at practice on Tuesday. We actually missed some guys at practice yesterday. So it's been a kind of a weird week with illness and trying to get everybody a little bit more healthy. But, hopefully we're ready for tonight. We had good prep yesterday, but like I said, and like you said, Scott, sometimes life throws stuff at you that you're not ready for, but hopefully your training prepares you for that, and you just got to overcome some adversities.
And Coach, you do have a lot of experience on this squad. When you can't have everybody out on the practice court, is there just extra film study and a lot of guys doing things mentally to get themselves prepared?
Well, it was interesting. Our two vocal leaders are CJ and Max. Max is definitely a vocal leader. He never shuts up. And so it was interesting. You got CJ out at practice right now, rehabbing and like reading a book on the sideline. I didn't think CJ was a book reader, but he's reading a book on the sideline. And you got Max was sick on Tuesday. And so, as we approach practice, hey guys, we've never practiced without Max. And we have some without CJ, but really without our two vocal leaders. What's going to happen today? Are we going to have a crappy practice? We're going to have a great practice? What's the deal? And we had some guys really step up and really kind of take some ownership of the team. And we had a really good practice on Tuesday morning. We had good preparation yesterday. And so, it is watching film a little bit by themselves and separately. And I really think probably Scott's right, and hopefully he is right. I really think that win did something for us and showed us what, if we play with a little bit more grit and some urgency. Listen, we had a really tough week last week before the shorter game. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we're 46-4 at home since I got here. Those 4 losses sting, and everybody would love to be 46-4. We didn't want to be 46-4. We want to be 50-0. And when we lose at home, that hurts us. And so we got to do a better job of protecting Spraggins. If you got all these people coming in here and all these students, we may not win every one of them, but we better go after it. And that's what we're planning on doing tonight, is going after it and being very aggressive and being really excited about playing at home, because now it's February. We got 5 at home, 2 on the road. This is our time, and this is where we've been really good the last couple of years.
Yeah, now tonight Delta State comes to town. We've seen them early in the year. How have they've improved? I know Malik Cartwright comes in averaging 20 a game, but how they've improved?
Well, they had won 5 in a row, and now they've lost 4 in a row. And you just never know where a team is, Scott. We've talked about that, where a team is in February. Are you peaking? Are you going the other way? Are you tired? Are you finished with it? Are you done with it? And, we used to talk about when I was at Chattanooga in the Southern Conference, in the tournament, everybody would get to go to the tournament. There was only 3 or 4 teams that could win the tournament. Some teams were tired and done with it. Some teams wanted to come up here and win one game and be done with it. You never know where a team is in February. I'll just say this: Malik Cartwright is just single-handedly by him is unguardable. And CBU tried to guard him by themselves. He had 45. He scores the ball at will, and he's a joke how good he is. So if we don't do something with him, there's no way we can guard him, period. And then the problem is they got a bunch of shooters. So you got 2 really good guys, Cartwright and Sam Smith, who's been out, but, like everybody else playing UAH, he'll be in and play the best game of his career. And then you got a bunch of shooters. And so they've got the formula to be really good. They play a matchup zone that tries to slow you up. And so they're coached by Nee Neighbor, who's a legend here who was at CBU, and they're well coached. They got really good players, and they're a dangerous basketball team, and we better be ready to roll, and I think we will be.
Well, and then you get to return home on Saturday, Coach, and as you said, you got to protect the home turf. It's kind of the new mantra, I guess. I just clicked in my head: follow the Charger brick road here, and you got to get some revenge against Mississippi College.
Well, we barely got beat at their place. We barely got beat. That when they made that last shot, and went up 30. I was a little nervous what we were going to run for that last play to cut it to 28. We got crushed there, and it was a Sunday afternoon, and Thompson had 47, and at least we helped his highlight tape to go play professionally. They kicked our tail. They were much better than us that day, and you're right. I will just say this: every human is better when you face a little adversity, and when you got something that you can get a little redemption, that you're not comfortable. We're not comfortable tonight. We won't be comfortable on Saturday. We will play with an edge tonight, and if we don't play with an edge on Saturday, something's absolutely wrong with us. But like I said, this is February, and this is the time in the past 4 years, the past 3 years, we've been really good in February. Happy and hugging in February, and I learned that through Charlton Young. He was my associate head coach my first year in Chattanooga. And so your first year head coach, we lost a game early, and I wanted to kill our team, and golly, I was upset. And he looked at me, he says, Coach, it's November. And I was like, well, what does that mean? He's like, Coach, we want to be good in February. We want to be happy and hugging in February. And the teams that are happy and hugging in February are successful. And I say that because most teams are sick of each other. They're sick of each other. They're tired of each other. They've been around each other since August. We're not. And we're happy and hugging right now. We're in a great frame of mind, and that will help us through this month of February.
It certainly will. Great stuff. Good luck, Coach, tonight and on Saturday. We're hoping for a nice weekend for the Chargers, get a couple of home wins over there at the stable at Spraggins Hall. We always appreciate the time and talking some UAH basketball.
Guys, we appreciate you as always. And Scott, I'll see you later on. And Drew, if you come to the game or don't come to the game, I really don't even need to know it. Just, Scott, if you could bring a picture of Drew and just put it in the stands like we had last Thursday night at Shorter.
That's all we need.
I'm fine with that. I'd rather see a picture of Drew than talk to him anyway.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Coach.
Thanks, guys.
As Brandon said, at least he didn't vomit on my picture.
That's right. That interview brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center. Make sure you give them a call today, 256-881-5151, to experience that SportsMed difference. SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to providing care that improves lives. They are the official training providers for the UAH Chargers. Let's get a break in, wrap up hour one when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Just getting a report of a power outage on Montesano, a good part of the mountains out. Utilities responding to that one. At a wreck in Marshall County, Union Grove Road and King Drive, 4 vehicles involved with injury. And 600 block of 11th Avenue Northwest in Decatur, they were working a structure fire. Sounds like they're pretty well wrapping up on that one. You could lose up to 4 sizes in 4 weeks with the 2030 Fast Track program. Find out more at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway, Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you don't have to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The Huntsville Sports Commission is responsible for bringing high-level sports entertainment to the Rocket City. In 2023, enjoy events like the CCSA Beach Volleyball Championships, Hometown Lenders Championship, UCI Paracycling Road World Cup, and so much more. To learn more about upcoming events and the Huntsville Sports Commission, visit HuntsvilleSports.com. The Huntsville Sports Commission. We do sports.
Terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Terms and conditions apply. Visit ISSA online for details.
Tired of the 9-to-5 grind? Looking for something different that's flexible, fulfilling, and pays well? How'd you like to get paid to work out? Now you can with ISSA, the global leader in personal fitness certification.
There's a huge demand for certified personal trainers right now. And once you get ISSA certified, they guarantee you'll get a job. Trainers can make as much as $200 an hour. Yes, I said $200 an hour. And with ISSA, you can be certified in as little as 4 weeks. Just text BENCH to 323232 now to get started for free. You do everything at your own pace and 100% online.
Pursue your passion in specializations like yoga, nutrition, or strength training. Live life on your terms. Get certified and train like you want. Start your own business, work at a gym, or make health and fitness your side hustle. Whatever works for you. Just don't wait.
Get started today and be certified in as little as 4 weeks. Just text BENCH to 323232 right now to get started for free. Text the word BENCH to 323232. Text BENCH to 323232.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
As we turn that corner into February, Valentine's Day just around the corner. If you want to make sure that Valentine's Day dinner stays nice and toasty, give Talent Heating and Air a call. Thomas, you got everything to make sure that Valentine's Day goes smooth.
Yeah, if you're trying to turn up the heat this Valentine's Day, we've got the special for you. $1,000 off and you keep your Valentine warm.
That's Talent Heating and Air's Valentine's Day special. Let them know where you can call.
Yeah, you can call us at 256-503-4490.
It's Talent Heating and Air, making sure everything stays rosy on Valentine's Day. Oh, you like that one? Talent Heating and Air. They're going to be the official sponsors of our March, our Madness of March. We can't call it March Madness because they'll get mad at us.
I guess we don't own the rights to that.
We don't own it. CBS does.
We can call it Onions. Bill Raftery.
He probably has that trademark too.
Probably. I don't know. I have it on a shirt.
But anyway, they're going to be our bracket challenge. It's going to be the 97.7 ESPN The Zone bracket challenge presented by Talon Heating and Air. So get your March Madness picking skills honed in, because we'll have that for you coming up here in about another month or so. Less than a month, actually. Let's go to the phone lines, 256-576-4977. Pat from Tuscaloosa with us this morning. Good morning, Pat.
Yeah, fellas, we will be able to go to the 97.7 The Zone page and be able to download a sheet. How are we going to have to do that?
It's going to be, we'll provide the link for you, and it'll be on ESPN. We're going to do it through ESPN. So we'll provide the link on our website once it all starts to come out or whatever. We'll get the link out there, and everybody can sign up. It'll be via the computer, and it'll be all on there. So we'll have fantastic prizes and everything. But yeah, we had fun yesterday cutting that commercial with Talon Heating and Air. Let's just say
they certainly did.
We had a lot of laughs.
Drew, I got a hard question for you this morning.
Right.
That posed the same question to Hank South this morning earlier. That out of Malik Benson and Jalen Hale, who you were dead on and nobody else was, that he was getting his fifth star, and he did. Hey, kudos to you, Drew, for recognizing the great talent. But my question is, which one of those guys are going to play the earliest and most often in Tuscaloosa?
Oh, that's easy. Malik Benson. I think he's going to be either one or two, at the least two. And I know Ja'Cory and Burton are back, but Benson's talent's undeniable. I expect a huge impact from him. I know he did very well in the 10 days. They were, having the bowl practices. And, I was kind of thinking about this yesterday on signing day. And Alabama's taken junior college receivers before, but the one that always sticks out in my head was the first one that I remember as a kid, and that was Al Bell. And I think he's going to have a huge impact on this squad. I think he's a first-round type talent. He might be a one-and-done. I don't want to put that completely on him, but I think Malik Benson, there's a reason that Holman Wiggins and the staff were on him so hard, and I think he's going to have a huge impact. He's got a 40-inch vertical, really good size, and I think he's catching on quickly, and I think he's going to give him some verticality, some big play potential. I certainly love Jalen Hale. I love what I've heard about Jaron Hamilton. I think he's a big, strong receiver who has a lot of explosiveness, and I think the entire foursome does. So I think when you think about it, I think it's an underrated signing group at the wide receiver spot, but I think Malik Benson's going to have instant impact.
Yes, man. Hale's played 16 games at the highest level of the state of Texas, and you realize almost the majority of the players in Texas are 19 years old, as their holdback capital of the world. And
right.
that much down there to grown men playing high school football. And I'm hoping that Hale be. Hey, Cole Adams, I got some boots on the ground in Oklahoma, and they said before he got hurt that Cole Adams was speed personified.
Yeah, he's an explosive kid too. Cole, I mean, the reason he kind of got forgotten is his first game of the year he blew out his shoulder, and basically, Pat, we didn't get a chance to see him play very much, but I know he was very impressive at Alabama's camps. They really like his shiftiness and his ability to change direction. I think he's underrated, and I know Oklahoma had a great recruiting class, but they certainly hated losing him from Owasso.
That's going to do it for Hour 1. Thanks for the phone call,
Thanks, Pat.
That's going to do it for Hour 1 here on Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Hey, if you want to join the show, we got time right out of the gates in Hour 2, 256-576-4977. Short break, right back at it here in just a minute or two.
Terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Terms and conditions apply. Visit ISSA online for details.
Tired of the 9-to-5 grind? Looking for something different that's flexible, fulfilling, and pays well? How'd you like to get paid to work out? Now you can with ISSA, the global leader in personal fitness certification.
There's a huge demand for certified personal trainers right now. And once you get ISSA certified, they guarantee you'll get a job. Trainers can make as much as $200 an hour. Yes, I said $200 an hour. And with ISSA, you can be certified in as little as 4 weeks. Just text BENCH to 323232 now to get started for free. You do everything at your own pace and 100% online.
Pursue your passion in specializations like yoga, nutrition, or strength training. Live life on your terms. Get certified and train like you want. Start your own business, work at a gym, or make health and fitness your side hustle. Whatever works for you. Just don't wait.
Get started today and be certified in as little as 4 weeks. Just text BENCH to 323232 right now to get started for free. Text the word BENCH to 323232. Text BENCH to 323232.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And welcome back in Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond with you.
The seer of seers was awakened from his wintry nap at dawn on Gobbler's Knob. Phil looked to the skies and then, speaking in groundhogese, directed this President Dunkel to the proper scroll, which reads, I see the morning has brought the finest people. I see their bravery and spirit. The time has come, I can feel it, the excitement, I can hear it. I see the folks with gray in their hair, and I see the kids all young and scrawny. Their eyes and cheeks aglow from the cold, clean air of sweet Punxsutawney. I see that everyone knows their part, and I am merely the sage. But above all else, I see a shadow on my stage. And so, no matter how you measure, it's 6 more weeks of winter weather.
There you go. It's Groundhog's Day, by the way.
Man, that was about as big a production as the hot dog eating contest, for God's sakes. That was poetry and everything.
That's funk. I can't even say
Punxsutawney Phil,
yes,
right? Is that how you say it?
Yes. He saw his shadow, so 6 more weeks of winter, if you believe.
Well, hell, we felt it yesterday. I can tell you that. Rain and 35 degrees.
You know, Sand Mountain has a possum. Up on Sand Mountain, they have a possum. I believe it's... we
ought to be playing Dooley about if
Sand
they got a
Mountain
possum.
Sam. Sand Mountain Sam. And he has a possum.
Yeah.
And so he has a possum. He is a
possum. That needs
possum.
to be the new mantra. Then, if we talk about Sam the possum, we got to play Dooley from the Andy Griffith Show. Sneak that in there. I did make a friend of mine spit his Coke everywhere yesterday because he asked me about the. Of course, I get the question every day about the what is going on with the coordinator spots at Alabama, and I sent him the song Dooley because Derek Dooley is one of the interviews that I think they've had. But I'll just say this. Even with the trip to Tuscaloosa in the books, I still have no feel for what's going down with that. I think Saban is interviewing a lot of people. He hasn't, and I'll just say this. I know it was reported after our show on Monday about Ryan Grubb, quote unquote, turning down an offer.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a true offer. And what I mean by that is, I was told that Saban didn't want to pay the $2 million, but at the same time, I was talking to someone that's as connected in the coaching business as I know, and he was like, but you got to understand how the process works. Saban may have decided during the interview, I'm still going to talk to some other candidates, and I'm not ready to extend an official offer. And so Grubb doesn't want to wait, and so he leaks it out and says, I'm staying at Washington. We talked, and we never came to an agreement, and you could phrase it, well, he didn't, we couldn't come to an agreement. He didn't want to meet the salary demand, didn't want to match the salary or whatever. That you can't even. I know it was reported on the Washington side it was a true offer,
right?
But you never really know. That's so ambiguous. I mean, it's just not. It's just something that's, it's hard to tell. I, for example, there was a former staff member that he had a couple years ago, and before he was hired, he told a contact of mine he interviewed 13 people for the position before he circled back, and said candidate even turned him down the first time, but they came back again, and he ended up coming, and he stayed for a year before moving on to another Power 5 program. So again, it's just interesting the way that stuff's phrased.
It is, but I know I look around college football,
right,
and I see schools nabbing coordinators, defensive and offensive coordinators.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a concern, though, that I know we sit here and say, well, Alabama has a little bit of time. They want to get someone into by spring. Signing day is come and done.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really have a lot to do for signing day this second go-around because they did a lot in the first go-around. But is it of concern, though? Should Alabama fans be a little concerned that they don't have anybody in on the offensive and defensive side yet, though?
I mean, I wouldn't be concerned. I would trust Nick Saban. I know a lot of people are just because of the names they've heard, and it's set off anxiety. Derek Dooley being interviewed for the OC, Todd Grantham being a front runner for the DC, and I had a friend of mine. He quote unquote told me I'm going to jump off a building if it's Todd Grantham and Dooley. And so I was just like,
makes you want to have Pete Golding back?
Well, I mean, that's what people were saying. Well, hell, why didn't we just keep Pete and Bill O'Brien? And I've even been told that he wanted Pete to stay, and that he even asked Bill O'Brien to stay. But I think everybody knew Bill wanted to go back to the NFL after 2 years, and Pete decided to, that he wanted a fresh start with Lane. So again, it's Alabama. It's high-profile positions. If you wanted to ask me my opinion, I honestly don't know who the front runners are right now. I think he is interviewing several candidates for the jobs. I will say I don't think it's going to be Jeremy Pruitt now. I think there's too much red tape to get through. Now, could he end up as an analyst? Yes, but I'm just talking about the on-field DC. No, I don't. I don't feel good about that right now, and I don't think that the DC is necessarily going to be Todd Grantham. I still think they're going to come to common ground with someone, and I find it interesting that Jim Leonard has still not taken a job. Maybe perhaps he takes the year off. We don't know. But I just think if they were going to hire Grantham, that could have already been done. And I don't think it's going to be Derek Dooley. I think some people are there's a lot of anxiety because, again, many times Nick Saban, I've always said chess, not checkers. He's already laid the groundwork. Like, for example, Lane Kiffin was around the facility during bowl prep, so you kind of already knew something might be going on with him.
Right.
And if I remember correctly, a couple years ago, Bill O'Brien was seen around the facility. And he had been fired by the Houston Texans, so you could kind of connect things because Saban needed an OC, and they knew each other from the Bill Belichick days. So, again, I just think overall, this time it's being a little bit more methodical. The process is a little different. But I think Nick Saban is still trying to vet all possibilities. I know he's spoken to Jeff Lebby. That was a name that was out there first. But I don't think any offer's been made there. So we'll see. Is he going to circle back to Lebby? He's just going to continue to talk to people, and I definitely think he's going to have the pieces in place within the next several days, and he certainly has to for spring practice, and he knows that.
Yeah.
But I would just trust the track record of Nick Saban. Nobody knew who Jim McElwain was over a decade ago when he hired him heading into year 2. Nobody knew who Brian Dable was.
Right.
When he brought him in.
That is true.
And he took a chance with Sark and Kiffin. Sark and Kiffin both had baggage. They worked out beautifully, so we'll see what happens.
All right, so one former Alabama assistant being recognized by 24/7 Sports, Charles Kelly, has been named the National Recruiter of the Year.
Now, I finally agree with something of that. He did a great job recruiting.
He did a great job for
Absolutely
Alabama
great.
and Colorado. He got 5-star prospects to Alabama, and then when he left and went to Colorado, he was able to get one for Deion Sanders in the early, right away there. So Charles Kelly named the National Recruiter of the Year for 24/7 Sports.
Yeah, he's done a heck of a job, and but all I will say with the Colorado thing is I'm pretty sure he had a lot of help from some Benjamins, which is legal.
We need to get that song. Wasn't there a song all about the Benjamins?
Yeah, Yeah, what did P.
Baby,
Diddy or
look that
whatever
up.
Diddy
Find
or
us
whatever,
that song all about the Benjamins.
whatever the hell he called himself.
But you got to make sure you got the edited version because I have a problem.
Yeah, we'll be in trouble.
I have a feeling there's some bad words.
Yeah, you'll have to type edited in there, Bandy, or we'll be in trouble here.
Kelly was,
or just find that, just Google of course, Show Me the Money, and you can play that.
Oh, the Jerry Maguire thing.
He doesn't cuss in that. I mean, that's not a song. That's just Show Me the Money.
There's a lot of schools that had guys. Show me the money.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
Yesterday though was a disappointing day for me.
Really?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. High school football recruiting is all about the Benjamins.
That's stupid. Shouldn't be on the high school level.
It is, though.
It's just stupid. These states. I tell you what, making it illegal for a high school kid to get NIL. First of all, he needs to become a good college player. You shouldn't be getting paid to go to school before you've ever even taken a class. You need to get enrolled. You need to start practicing. Be a part of the collective. Get you some money there, but you shouldn't be able to market yourself until you.
TCU, by the way, is suspending their collective.
Well, good. Even though, from what I've heard, they've been very generous to some people in the transfer portal.
They have the second best or third best recruiting class in the Big 12, did TCU. Yeah. Brent Drinkard on Facebook Live.
Talking about
he said that Sam
Dooley.
Mountain Sam
we're going to be playing Dooley right
spring
now.
for Alabama.
There we go.
Need some banjo music or something.
I'm telling you, Dooley is perfect for Sam.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just Google Dooley Andy Griffith show. It will pop right up. I made my friend Wes spit his Coke everywhere yesterday. I don't know if he's listening. Yeah, Dooley Andy Griffith show, 1963. That is the year.
Dooley Andy Griffith show. There
it is.
There we go. Is this
Denver Pyle?
Well, I gotta wait. Hold on.
Yeah, Denver Pyle, Uncle Jesse. He was Frisco Darling.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Bring your strength.
There it is.
Being free and enjoy.
See if we can get some music.
Oh, that's it.
There it is. I told you, banjo.
Sam Mountain Sam.
Now Dooley was a good old man, he lived below the mill. Dooley had 2 daughters and a party gal, and still one gal watched the boiler, the other watched his bath, and Mama corked the bottles when old Dooley fetched them out. Dooley slipping up the holler, Dooley trying to make $1. Dooley, give me a swaller and I'll pay you back someday.
Okay. See, I can tell you grew up in Iowa because if you never heard, if you grew up in the South, you absolutely know Dooley. If you watched the Andy Griffith show.
I watched some of the. I have to admit, I don't think I've watched as many Andy Griffith episodes.
My father was a aficionado.
Okay.
So I grew up watching the Andy Griffith show.
We got to get a break in. When we come back, we'll have more Talking Ball. 97.7 ESPN Zone.
Now Dooley was afraid.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
They may still be working on a wreck in Marshall County, Union Grove Road and King Drive. That one had 4 vehicles involved with injuries. Sounds like they pretty well wrapped up on that structure fire, 600 block of 11th Avenue Northwest in Decatur. And we got a power outage on Montesano. You may have some areas up there that are still without power. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. Why not make it safer for them? Slow down or move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Terms and conditions apply. Visit ISSA online for details.
Tired of the 9-to-5 grind? Looking for something different that's flexible, fulfilling, and pays well? How'd you like to get paid to work out? Now you can with ISSA, the global leader in personal fitness certification.
There's a huge demand for certified personal trainers right now. And once you get ISSA certified, they guarantee you'll get a job. Trainers can make as much as $200 an hour. Yes, I said $200 an hour. And with ISSA, you can be certified in as little as 4 weeks. Just text BENCH to 323232 now to get started for free. You do everything at your own pace and 100% online.
Pursue your passion in specializations like yoga, nutrition, or strength training. Live life on your terms. Get certified and train like you want. Start your own business, work at a gym, or make health and fitness your side hustle. Whatever works for you. Just don't wait.
Get started today and be certified in as little as 4 weeks. Just text BENCH to 323232 right now to get started for free. Text the word BENCH to 323232. Text BENCH to 323232.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
We love our pets, and when we need boarding or vet services, we want the best. That's why we chose Paradise Pet Resort and Spa. Everything our pets needed, all in one place. Boarding for both dogs and cats. Doggy daycare, grooming and spa services, web cameras, and top-notch vet care, too. It's a true Paradise Pet Resort for your furry friends, serving all of North Alabama. Find out everything you need to know and book services online at ParadisePetResortandSpa.com. Located in Madison, just off 565 at Wall Triana, behind Cracker Barrel.
Bailey, good job. Can you whistle to that?
I can't whistle at all.
Wow, I did not know that. All right. Welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, the Zone 256-576-4977. Listening to some, what were we listening to? Dooley. We were listening to the Darlings Dooley. Wow. All right, Richard with us.
Yeah, you wanted some banjo.
I did not know that's what it was. That was pretty good. What's
up, Richard?
What's up, bud?
Hey, guys. Hopefully you didn't go to Deliverance on him anyway. That's better than a little Deliverance banjo music anyway. So
right.
School, you were just talking that have 25 early enrollees. They're in school. Any idea how many guys are actually on scholarship? I mean, usually you don't have to worry about it in the spring, because you don't have that many of the signees enrolling, but I was just wondering how close we are to 85 now.
Well, I mean, Richard, they lost several guys in the portal. I mean, they lost double figures. I think all 26 dudes are on scholarship. I definitely think the 2 portal transfers are C.J. Dupree and Tresman Marshall. And then that would leave 24 more, 24 of the 28 that they signed on the on December the 21st. I think all those cats are on scholarship. I would be shocked if they're not. I mean, you're
going to lose a few, at the end of the spring. But I was just wondering, a lot of times, in Alabama's, kind of unique. But you got, a lot of times schools are down to 50 and 60 scholarship guys in the spring. But you have to think Alabama's got to be, in the 70s at least, if not in the 80s, up to your 85 limit, now.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, man, no question. I mean, I think without a doubt, it's a balancing act. Nick Saban has mentioned it. I mean, you have to be able to manage your roster, but I don't think. And remember, you could oversign this year. I mean, they were going to let you sign up to 32, if not more. And I think when Alabama signed all these guys, they knew exactly what. And we always say only Nick Saban truly knows the numbers. But I still think there's room for 3 or 4 more if they found the right guys in the portal. Because remember, Demoye Kennedy, he'd found a new place to land yesterday as well. He's going to play for Coach Prime and going to Colorado.
I know in the summer, and it's basketball is a lot easier to keep up with, but a lot of times, it doesn't count until the official, school start date, be it August 20th. But a lot of times basketball teams might have 16 or 17 on scholarship, but you have to run 2 off. They're working out in the summer. That's what I was kind of wondering, how football worked, if you were stuck on the 85 or not in the spring.
You know what, I think with the transfer portal now, with you lose 10, 11 guys, that I think chances are there's going to be a lot of teams that won't have to worry about that because they're always going to be below. I mean, Alabama lost, I think, 10, 11 guys through the portal, or 13 this year or something. It's just we don't report every guy because usually we only say the most notable names, but there's guys that have never played that left in the portal. So I don't think schools have to worry about it much anymore.
One thing at Alabama is a lot of times your senior class, because so many juniors go pro, a lot of times Alabama's senior classes are small.
Yeah.
Compared to a lot of schools. This year I think you had a lot of scholarship guys, you lost that were seniors. But like I said, Alabama, a lot of times you may only have 7, 8 scholarship guys, that are actually, like on senior day when they're announced, most of them are walk-ons out because, you might lose 5 or 6 juniors out. So like I said, so it's kind of, different. But like I said, it seems like this year they may be closer to, 80 or 85 in the spring than, than a lot of years just because you had so many early enrollees.
Yeah, I mean, this is the most I can ever remember, Richard. I mean, when you're talking about 26 out of 30, I mean, that's an unreal amount. But I think it's also because of the transfer portal now when you can have so many guys on the move, and then they're on the move before the bowl game. Because, I mean, there were so many – Alabama, barely had a 2 deep for the offensive line for the Sugar Bowl because of guys on the move.
Well, one thing now that Tom Brady's retired, I think you guys ought to bring him up and, and load him up with, like, Christmas tree cakes and let Scott take him out for a lot of meals. He always eats all this weird stuff and has to, worry about, all this. And now he doesn't have to worry about anything. I think you guys ought to bring him up, load him up with, 10 or 15 Christmas tree cakes on air, and then let Scott take him out for lunch and dinner. And
we could take him all over the place.
Fatten him up there.
Yeah.
Well, Scott's already been talking about people bringing us food. Tom Brady could bring us a lot of food. He could pay for a lot of stuff.
I just want,
dude.
This guy's want a biscuit.
$25 million, and for what? More than that. It's $25 million a year, right? You said $300 million.
It's 10 years, 300. Something.
And he's never even done a game yet. And I'm getting ripped yesterday, saying he won 7 Super Bowls. He's going to be great. Hell, he's never been on TV before. It's not like putting YouTube on there or whatever he did with his phone yesterday. I mean, let's see if he can talk football. Some can't.
I got a funny story for his replacement there, Greg Olson. I guess is that the one that used to play for the Bears years ago?
Yes, the tight end, and he was with Carolina. Yes.
Yeah, when we lived in Chicago, the Bears training facility wasn't very far away, so you had a lot of the coaches. Actually, my next door neighbor was a coach for a year, but they fired him for the Bears. But you had a lot of the players out. My son was on the golf team, and they would practice in the summer at a local course. And Olsen would go out there with a bunch of the Bears, and my son said he was so bad, he was always playing the ball in the wrong fairway. He was always off, like, they had to wait for him to, get his ball back into the right fairway, try to hit it out in this, local public course. They were always laughing at Olsen, always, sitting on out in the wrong fairway because he was so bad. We're, chasing his ball down. So.
Oh, all right, Richard. Thanks for the phone call.
Appreciate it, Richard.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, hook up with Tom Brady. Let's get him some Christmas tree cake.
Yeah.
Get him off all that yogurt or whatever the stuff he was always eating. So get him some real food. See you guys later.
Thanks. I think it was. I believe the ice cream was. I forget what the ice cream was. Avocado ice cream.
Oh my God!
I think it was. It was
can't
something
even
odd.
look at
It was not
avocados
regular.
anyway. It's booger green, man.
It was not regular ice cream. By the way, so I never got to tell you why it was a bad day for me yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So yesterday's signing day.
Right.
And all across the country, college football coaches meet the media, discuss about their signing day class and their staffs going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa did the same thing yesterday. Kurt Ferentz and the Iowa athletic director said that they are not going to make any changes to the staff because everything was good last year.
Because they won a bowl game 21-0?
They said that everything was fine, that the offense under 4 years of Brian Ferentz at the offense, that last year was just an anomaly, that it was just a bad year, but everyone's now pointed out that Iowa hasn't finished above like 50th or 60th in total offense in the last 4 years, or above 80th or something like that. But they said everything was fine. There was no need to make a staff change. So we get dumbass Brian Ferentz back for another year.
Guess
So,
there's not going to
so
be a
if you
change in
think,
the playbook, man.
so if Alabama fans are all angst about scoring 41
Oh,
points
yeah.
a game and having Bill O'Brien move on,
Let's just find out that Coach Saban's
trade
interviewing Brian Ferentz. Then you want some people to jump off a building.
then you can jump off a building.
I mean, you know,
Feel free to jump off a building then.
I mean, we've been playing Dooley this morning because one of other reasons, but you know, Derek Dooley's supposedly been interviewed for the OC's job, and I did have a good friend say he'd jump off a building if it was Derek Dooley and Todd Grantham. But I mean, good Lord, I mean. If you're talking about Brian Ferentz being, then I would probably have to stick my head in the toilet if it was Brian Ferentz.
Oh, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. They're like, yeah, no need to make a change.
I mean,
I was
Alabama's
like, you got to be kidding
was
me.
already not elite last year. They don't have the ability to outscore the danged offense like Iowa's defense did. I mean, I think Iowa's defense outscored the offense in the bowl game, didn't they?
Oh, they did. Not the first game this year. It happened like 3 or 4 times, but apparently everything is in place this year to have a better offense, so there's no need to make a change. And he went so far as to say that Hayden Fry never fired any coaches, so he's not going to fire any coaches.
Hayden Fry never did.
Hayden Fry had coaches leave because they were successful and they went on for other jobs. Barry Alvarez.
That sounds like before Alabama finally got it right, when it was always, well, Coach Bryant did it this way and Coach Bryant did it that way. Find somebody that can win like Coach Bryant. Don't worry about how he did it. Go find somebody that'll kick your ass and win a game.
Mike Shula.
Lord.
Mike DuBose.
Talking about Dooley.
Dude from Washington State that never coached a game.
Hell, you need Dooley's moonshine for all that. That's all I'm going to say.
Mike Price.
Oh, and I'll pay you back someday.
As long as Alabama doesn't get a coach named Mike, I think you're okay.
Yeah. That's a good point. I guess that's the common denominator.
Just don't get an offensive coordinator named Mike.
Oh.
I don't think there's any hot ones named Mike.
I haven't heard of any.
All right. We better get a break in. Oh, 2-5. Oh, by the way, North Alabama, we want to mention this.
Yeah,
They're
going to release.
They're going to kick off the new football season. Now, Jacksonville State has played in this game, I believe, twice.
I covered one of them against Chattanooga.
Yep. Now North Alabama will take on Mercer in the FCS kickoff in the Crampton Bowl on Saturday, August 26th to kick off the college football season. ESPN will broadcast the game. Mercer was ranked in the top 25 the entire season for the first time in program history this past year. North Alabama has a new head football coach this year.
DeArmond, yeah.
Yeah, so some exciting times for the Lions.
Yep.
They got some big games on that schedule as well. We'll run that down in the headlines, but let's get a break in. Because when we come back, we do got to continue the show. We're going to talk some South Kakalaki. Do we get that? South Carolina football.
Huge
big day.
commitment for them yesterday.
Big day. Big day for Shane Beamer. And what does it mean, though, going forward for the program? We'll explain.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It'll be a wet afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. We're talking about rain all the way through the afternoon into the evening and even through the earliest part of the overnight. Temperatures only going to climb into the low and mid 40s this afternoon. Rain finally comes to an end through the early hours of Friday morning. We're actually going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine on Friday afternoon, though temperatures still going to be on the cooler end of the spectrum. Highs only climbing into the mid 40s, dropping into the upper 20s, lower 30s as we head into the overnight, early into your Saturday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It has been a fairly easy morning. We had that one wreck in Marshall County. That was on Union Grove at King Drive. That had 4 vehicles involved with injury. It should be pretty well cleared up now. Everything else looks good. Just a lot of folks scrambling trying to get in on time this morning. Popeye's famous chicken sandwich is only $4.99. Crispy tender chicken on a delicious toasted brioche bun. Love that chicken from Popeye's. University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare Alabama's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
1 in 3 adults in America have pre-diabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Years 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mom my. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. And we mentioned recruiting day. We went over the top 5 classes in the country. We went over the SEC recruiting rankings. And while you look at the overall SEC recruiting rankings,
yeah,
you're not going to sit there from according to 24/7 Sports, and you're not going to sit there and be like, well, you know, South Carolina's class, even though 24/7 Sports says number 7 in the SEC, you're going to be like, okay. But, Drew, they added a 5-star yesterday, did Shane Beamer and South Carolina, turning some heads.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They are up to 16th, I believe, in the 24/7 Sports rankings. Which is huge for them, no doubt about it. And, and the composite rank, their overall rank is 17, but it's still, massive. And, and I tried to track this kid's recruitment, but I'll admit it did catch me a little bit off guard yesterday when they got a signature from Nicholas Harbor, and he's someone that's was a freakazoid athlete from Archbishop Carroll in Washington D.C. He just kept climbing up the rankings, like as from starting last summer when he started working out and just putting up these just ridiculous freakazoid, at 6'5", he's listed at 6'5", 225, but I've heard him maybe 235, 240, running, we're talking under 4.4s, a guy that was at first thought to be an edge rusher, but now after a great year offensively could be a jumbo flex tight end / wide receiver for Shane Beamer. And of course Shane Beamer had an unbelievable ending to his second season. The wins over Tennessee, the wins over Clemson, the close loss in the bowl game to Notre Dame, but it still didn't really quell their momentum. And there's just a lot of optimism right now. We're going to talk to our next guest. He's part of 24/7 Sports, part of the Big Spur, which covers South Carolina. He's been with us on multiple occasions, and we appreciate his time this morning. That's Hale McGranahan. Hale, welcome back to Huntsville. How are you?
Yeah, doing well. How are you fellas doing this morning?
We're doing well. Good. Now, you can fill in the blanks for us. Now, it just seemed like Oregon, Georgia, and South Carolina, multiple schools. How did all this start turning South Carolina's way with Nicholas Harbor?
It really began, I would say, back in the summer of 2021 when Harbor made his first visit to South Carolina. And if you guys remember, that was June of 2021 was when recruits were allowed to start visiting again after things
right after COVID. Okay, yeah.
Because of COVID. Yeah, so he visited. I think it was probably like the first or second week of that month, and he even said after that visit how impressed he was that the head coach was waiting for him outside the building when he pulled up with, I think he was with some high school coaches and maybe some teammates. But that just really kind of stuck with him, and he and Beamer had sort of started to have a little bit of a relationship when Beamer was a tight ends coach at Oklahoma.
There you go.
Was obviously heavily involved in recruiting that part of the country, just given Beamer's ties to Virginia growing up and with his dad and coaching and all that. So sort of began, all the way back then when he was still at OU, and really that first in-person meetup is what really stuck with Harbor. And it took him about a little more than a year to come back. He didn't visit again until this past July when South Carolina had a cookout recruiting event, and Harbor was he was in Greensboro, North Carolina for a track meet, which is I think it's about 3 hours for Columbia, and he still decided to make the trip down and visit with Carolina and see everything the day before he was supposed to run in a track meet, and that was another sort of chapter in this whole thing. But yeah, it was that June 2021 visit which really sort of got the ball rolling.
Yeah, so they get him, and obviously he's probably the headliner of that class. But you look at this class that Shane Beamer has put together, and really taken the momentum from the field and carrying that into the recruiting trail.
For sure. And the interesting thing was, going back to what you guys were talking about before you brought me in, South Carolina was ranked number 16 in the composite rankings before Harbor even committed yesterday.
Okay.
Even without him, they would still be 16. Just how the numbers look with the formula and how all that stuff is counted up. So interestingly enough, he didn't make that much of an impact on the class from a on computer screen standpoint, if that makes sense. But certainly a big get, obviously. But yeah, like you're saying, the class as a whole was already really good with a lot of talented players, especially along the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball. That was an emphasis for this staff, not only because they're losing or have lost a bunch of upperclassmen guys who played a ton of snaps. But when you think about it, if you're playing teams like Clemson and Georgia every year that have probably the best defensive lines in the country, it's probably a good idea for you to really put a lot of emphasis and focus on recruiting the offensive line. And we saw that pay off with this class and moving on to 2024. I think we're probably going to see it pay off there as well. But yeah, a lot of emphasis on the lines of scrimmage, both sides of the ball, and really an area that I think you can look at for South Carolina for them to hang their hat on in 2023.
And he's such a freakazoid athlete, but where does Coach Beamer and his staff kind of envision him? Either on is it because I've heard that Nicholas really would like to play offense, but where do they see him fitting in?
Yeah, that's where he's going to play. It's probably going to be more of like a wide receiver type of role.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have him doing some types of tight end sort of things, but they don't want to have him really spending too much time attached to the line with his hand on the ground trying to block. They want to utilize that world class speed, get him out in space and running with the football, or just being a threat vertically to stretch defenses and open things up for some other guys. And part of that is because that's what Harbor wants to do. He wants to be able to play football at a position where he can keep his weight down, so he can still maximize his ability as a track athlete. Because he, as you guys have probably heard, he's got his sights set on Paris 2024 and running in the Olympics. So that's an important part to him, and was something that was key in this recruitment, is saying, hey, now you guys started recruiting me as a defensive end, because that's where South Carolina first started looking at him, was defensive end, and that sort of morphed to tight end, and then eventually segued into wide receiver. So it's I guess the best way you can describe it is offensive playmakers is what they want to do with Nick Harbor.
So now Shane Beamer gets this class. He gets a great recruiting class in there. What are the expectations going into spring? What are the expectations going into fall?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I have sort of a theory about South Carolina fans is expectations are going to be, kind of high, probably fair, reasonable going into the spring. And as the spring turns into summer and summer turns into fall camp, the expectations are going to grow. So, maybe now if you ask the Carolina fan, they'll probably say, hey, 8-9 wins, but by the time July, August rolls around, they're probably going to be talking about 10-11, competing for the SEC championship game. So, having Spencer Rattler come back and Antoine Wells, best wide receiver, that stuff helps too. And bringing in a nice recruiting class is only going to add to that. And putting the icing on that cake in the form of Nick Harbor is probably going to send folks into a frenzy over these next 6, 7, 8 months.
Well, I mean,
before the season kicks off.
When we're talking to Helma Granahan, the Big Spur on 24/7 Sports, and it had to be so cathartic. I mean, certainly they enjoyed the Tennessee win, but how sweet was the win to end the losing streak to Clemson?
Oh, man. I tell you guys what, I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all what kind of numbers we did on the website because I'm not allowed to, but yeah, it was insane. The end of November and on through December, that we had a stretch of 6 weeks on the website that just smashed every record we had in terms of page views and all that stuff. But yeah, it was huge. I mean, coming off that Florida loss, you got to keep in mind the week before they beat Tennessee, they got the break speed off of them in Gainesville and just looked awful. So going to the Tennessee game, I was like, oh, this is going to be brutal. Then they kill Tennessee, and they turn around and beat Clemson. So yeah, I mean, it was a hell of a 2-week stretch for Carolina fans, and I think a lot of folks are still riding that high and will continue to ride it through the spring and summer. That's for sure.
Well, and then it's a perfect segue, too, because Scott was talking about the recruiting class and how strong it finished. They look like they're off to a strong start in 24, and the offensive line looks like it's going to maybe pick up the best player in the state of South Carolina, which when you're talking about going up against Clemson and all the success Dabo's had, that's significant, the inroads that Shane Beamer and his staff are making.
Yeah, that offensive lineman you're referring to, I guess, is Josiah Thompson, who's ranked higher than Cam Pringle, another in-state offensive lineman who's also committed. And depending on who you talk to, some would say Pringle's the better of the two, then others would say maybe Josiah Thompson's the better of the two. Either way, they're both highly rated 4-stars who are knocking on the door of 5-star status, which, just one of those guys in the state of South Carolina in a recruiting cycle is very rare. Two of them is I've never seen it. I mean, I've been covering this stuff for, God, I hesitate to say, but 15 years, and which is, I've never seen anything like it. I've lived in the state most of my life. Never seen anything like it. And in addition to those two guys, there's another guy who's a highly rated 3-star named Blake Franks, who's from Greenville, South Carolina, on the cusp of being a 4-star. Clemson's also recruiting him too, and South Carolina's in really good position to land him. So if they can pull off all three, it would be monumental. And again, just never seen anything like it, which is it's a good time to recruit the state of South Carolina if you're Shane Beamer or Dabo Swinney for that matter. But if the Gamecocks can pull all three of those guys, again, they've already got one in Pringle. If they could pull all three, that would just be huge.
I know you touched on it briefly, but it's still recruiting because you got to recruit your roster every year.
Mm-hmm.
To recruit and bring Spencer Rattler back, big for South Carolina.
No doubt. I mean, he didn't quite have the full season, start to finish, like a lot of folks hoped or wanted or expected. But yeah, that close with the Tennessee game and the Clemson game, and if he had some more pieces around him for the Notre Dame game, I'm sure he would have put up really, really strong numbers in that too. But they had opt-outs and guys transferring, guys who were hurt who didn't play, so it was almost like a skeleton crew around him towards the end of that game. But getting him back is huge. I mean, it all starts at that position, as we all know, and he's as talented as they come, and just helps add to really, I shouldn't say add, but really build the momentum for the team itself in 2023. Never mind what happened in 2022. Just if you look at it in a vacuum, what that team could look like in 2023. Having him back is everything, and again, just makes folks around here even more excited, and it's going to make this a fun summer and to be around on the BigSpur.com.
No doubt. It's been certainly a very active late fall and then winter, and then a lot of activity going on the Big Spur. And let everybody know how to connect with you and your work, Hale. We appreciate it.
Yeah, just 24/7 Sports Network. BigSpur.com is the site. Any Carolina fans who are listening, I'm on Twitter. My name, Hale McGranahan. I won't spell it out since folks might be driving, and I don't want them to try to write it down if they're interested. But yeah, the BigSpur.com. That's easy enough. You can find me there.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
Thanks. Yeah, some good stuff there on South Carolina. Shane Beamer. Remember when Shane Beamer took that job, we were like, okay, which one of these coaches will do well? I mean, it was Josh Heupel, Shane Beamer, Clark Lee, Brian Harsin. Those were the ones. Those were those year coaches. Josh Heupel right now has Tennessee headed in the right direction. Clark Lee had Vanderbilt going up in an upward direction this past year. Shane Beamer definitely has South Carolina going up in the right year. All right, what will Billy Napier do with Florida in year 2? All right, we got to get a break in. Tomorrow's headlines today when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Just got a wreck it. Governors in Cass Circle. Sounds like that one's going to be a no injury, and it also sounds like they pulled it over onto Cass. Union Grove and King Drive in Marshall County had a 4-car accident. That one had some injuries. Should be very close to clearing on it. Snelling needs a paralegal with experience in family law. Snelling, how the area's best companies hire talent. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
The college basketball regular season is winding down, and the football specials at Humphrey's Bar and Grill are now going to extend into basketball season with football specials during every Auburn and Alabama basketball games. Don't miss Humphrey's game day specials from $2.75 Miller Lite, Yingling, Coors Light pints, $3.50 Yellowhammer Gold pints. Anytime Auburn or Alabama is on the screen, Humphrey's, always a party, never a cover. Located online at humphrey'sdowntown.com.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing: helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourself. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit AVIQHSV.com.
The new Cheeseburger Bobby's on Carl T. Jones Drive in South Huntsville is focused on serving great food prepared with the absolute freshest ingredients, featuring classic hamburgers and cheeseburgers with lots of specialty options, chicken and hot dogs, even turkey burgers and veggie burgers, along with fresh cut fries, onion rings, or coleslaw. Always fresh, never frozen, except for the frozen custard. See all the delicious options at Cheeseburger Bobby's for yourself. Check out the menu and more at cheeseburgerbobbies.com.
The Lodge at Guntersville State Park. From the gorgeous long views of the lake from the Bluff Side rooms to dinner at the Pinecrest Room, Guntersville State Park needs to be on your bucket list this year. What an ideal place for a family staycation or a romantic getaway. Guntersville State Park has it all. This is a great time to book your visit, and depending on the time of year, you might want to bring the clubs and take in a round at Eagle's Nest. Make plans today to visit the Lodge at Guntersville State Park. If it didn't exist, you'd have to invent it. Guntersville State Park.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel and McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by the lawyer.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Talking ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We mentioned college football schedules are being released all across the country. North Alabama releasing their full schedule just a little bit ago. They will open up Saturday, August 26th against Mercer. Home games for the Lions this year will be September 2nd with Chattanooga, September 23rd with UT Martin. That is the 1993 National Championship reunion game.
There you go.
On September 23rd. A few people will be coming back for that one.
Yeah, Ronald McKinnon, Cody Gross.
September 30th, Eastern Kentucky. Then they get Utah Tech on the 21st, Central Arkansas on the 4th. Their road games will be at Tarleton State, at Tennessee Tech, at Abilene Christian, at Austin Peay, and then they're going to wrap up the year November 18th at... That's pretty weak.
That was weak.
At Tallahassee against Florida State.
Yeah.
So that is the schedule for North Alabama this coming year. Now, Alabama A&M releasing their football schedule a short time ago. They have a non-conference game in the Music City on September 2nd as they will take on Clark Lee and Vanderbilt.
There you go.
Will Alabama A&M.
Mm-hmm.
So college football schedules being released all across the country. Coming up tonight, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We're going to have UAH Charger basketball for you. 5:30. They're going to take on Delta State. That's the women. That's going to be on Zone 2.
Does that mean, did Brandon leave y'all the picture, or did he take it with him?
He took it with him.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to have to come up with another
yeah,
picture.
Yeah, we're not going to have one, I guess, next to Molton.
I need to get a cardboard cutout, like one of those tall ones, and just put your face on it.
Just use the other Twitter picture. You know, it's just my face with the gray hair.
The one Brandon used, I don't know where he got it from.
That was the first one I ever did when I first started the show. We just did some promo pictures. I think our intern Tyler heard.
You look like a little kid in that one.
Well, I mean, you know, I just started in the business then. No beard then, just a partial one.
You shave it when you got to get. You shave it for big days.
Yeah, a little extra poundage then.
Oh, see, you come do a show with me, and I introduce you to all this food, and yet you still look good.
Yeah,
see?
Still lose weight too.
See?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh. All right. 256-576-4977. You got a minute or so if you want to join the program as we wind it all down here on our Thursday edition of Talking Ball. As we did mention, the AFL, the Arena Football League, is coming back in the spring. They're going to start in the 2024 season. They were founded in 1986. So the AFL is back. So we have that back on the docket as well. See, I told you we were done. Don't forget, you got your Pro Bowl skills competition kicking off today. Dodgeball.
Hey, prayers to our guy Brandon. His son Bo just had dental surgery, so hopefully a quick recovery for him.
I met Bo.
Yeah, I've met him. Looks like he got rid of his mullet here.
No, I don't think he did.
Well, he didn't? I don't know.
We saw it from what
this picture. This picture is just a few seconds ago, so maybe he got a haircut, man.
Maybe he did. I thought he had a little bit of it when we saw him in Rome.
He had a nice Dukes of Hazzard mullet there.
All right, that's going to do it for our 2 hours of fun. I learned what the doolies were today.
There you go, Frisco.
Did not know that. All right, download the app today, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. You can listen to UAH basketball this evening.
Suffering from emotional pain and mental health conditions, Intensive Outpatient Programs, or IOP, is a rich addition to your continued individual therapy. Group members realize they're not alone and that others have similar difficulties. Hearing and sharing different ways to think and cope can be encouraging, empowering, and promote healing. In most cases, treatment is covered by insurance and no doctor referral is needed. Virtual IOP sessions available. Take your first step to wellness by calling 205-999-52.
Fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
The Lodge at Guntersville State Park. From the gorgeous long views of the lake from the Bluff Side rooms to dinner at the Pinecrest room, Guntersville State Park needs to be on your bucket list this year. What an ideal place for a family staycation or a romantic getaway. Guntersville State Park has it all. This is a great time to book your visit, and depending on the time of year, you might want to bring the clubs and take in a round at Eagle's Nest. Make plans today to visit the Lodge at Guntersville State Park. If it didn't exist, you'd have to invent it. Guntersville State Park.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with